I feel bad for teens, but they're so confusing. And it's not all my fault. I feel like they need to take some responsibility for my jokes. Because I didn't come up with this idea on my own. This idea that a person can be born in the wrong body. But they have to admit, that's a fucking hilarious predicament. It's really fucking funny. And if it happened to me, you'd laugh, wouldn't you? That wouldn't be funny if it happened to me? I think it would.
When Dave Chappelle steps onto the stage, it's like a surgeon prepping for a precise, brutal operation. Except instead of a scalpel, he's wielding punchlines. Chappelle doesn't tiptoe around sensitive topics. He bulldozes right through them, exposing the inconsistencies and double standards in a way only he can. His comedy is like a mirror held up to society, showing us the absurdity of the current moment.
What if it did? What if I was Chinese, but born in this nigga body? That's not funny. And for the rest of my life, I had to go around making that face. Hey, everybody, I'm Chinese. And everyone get mad. Stop making that face. That's offensive. What? This is how I feel inside. By addressing the LGBTQ community directly. I want every member of that community to know that I come here tonight in peace. And I hope to negotiate the release of the baby. The baby was the #1 streaming artist until about a couple weeks ago.
He's not doing this out of malice or to offend. He's doing it because someone has to remind people that comedy's purpose is to reflect truth, not appease everyone. Chappelle's approach isn't about playing it safe. It's about cutting to the heart of things, making audiences squirm and laugh in equal measure. Chappelle's style harks back to the days when comedy wasn't about pandering. Think of figures like Richard Pryor or George Carlin.
The nasty spill on stage and said some wild stuff about the LGBTQ community during a concert in Florida. Now, you know I go hard in the paint, but even I saw that shit was like, God damn, the baby. Ooh, he pushed the button, didn't he? He pushed the button, punched the LGBTQ community right in the AIDS. Can't do that. But I do believe, and I'll make this point later, that the kid made a very egregious mistake. I will acknowledge that. But, you know, a lot of the LGBTQ community doesn't know the baby's history. He's a wild guy. He wants and him in Walmart. Oh, this is true. Google it. The baby a nigga in Walmart.
Chappelle's satire mirrors that era, pulling no punches and digging into sensitive areas that others wouldn't touch. Today, woke culture demands everyone fall in line, but Chappelle's humor is a reminder that comedy has always thrived on its ability to challenge norms.
The audience. This is a true story. This was like a few weeks ago. I did 6 shows that weekend. This trans woman came to 4 of them. Calls herself Daphne. Man, this chick Daphne was in there cracking up at everything I said about everybody. It was amazing. She was laughing, and it was fun to watch her laugh. You could tell she was letting go with something that was heavy, and she'd throw her head back, and she'd smile with all her teeth. She was having a great time. And the more fun she had, I felt bad, because I knew I had some trans jokes on load. And I thought to myself, maybe I shouldn't say these jokes, because I don't want to like her evening up. She's having so much fun. But then I thought to myself, well, if I can't say it in front of her, should I say no? So I let her rip. To my surprise, Daphne laughed harder at the trans jokes than anybody in the room. In fact, everybody in the room would look at her to make sure it was okay. I got off stage in the dressing room. I was like, man, this is a weird show. I'm sitting in the dressing room by myself just trying to figure out, like, what the just happened?
He doesn't cater to a moral checklist. He's here to remind everyone that humor, like history, is full of irony and contradiction. His comedy makes us ask, when did challenging ideas become offensive? In one bit, he compares today's society to an overly sensitive alarm system. One that goes off at the smallest hint of danger but doesn't differentiate between real threats and harmless jokes. His analogies turn complex social critiques into accessible, humorous insights, holding up a spotlight to the overreactions and contradictions within woke culture.
Rachel Dolezal. She always says that. She's a white woman, but then she dressed up like a nigga and shot her way up to the very top of blackness. And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to like have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes and call her a nigger to her face. The f they talking about? I identify black. That is trans talk, lady. Stop biting. Stop biting. There's a big difference between her and a trans. The difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Them niggas cut their off. That's all the proof I need. Never seen somebody just throw their away. Don't need it.
It's as if he's saying, this system you're building? It's a house of cards. And every punchline is a gust of wind ready to bring it crashing down. When he throws in analogies, he's not just getting laughs, he's cracking the foundation of overly fragile ideologies.
Identify as black? No, it's a serious question because you might not identify. Can you please put the mic? Thank you. Okay.
When I walked into the room,
I am not done with my question.
Young lady.
I'm just asking you to listen to me.
And I'm about to answer the first question.
But I didn't finish my question.
For television, they have a department that's called Standards and Practices. This is the department that tells you what you can and cannot say on television. And if you're doing your job well, you should never hear from them. But if you make a Chappelle show, you'll hear from these all the time.
One of Chappelle's signatures is that he doesn't play favorites. No group, no ideology, no individual is safe from his comedic lens. He takes the equal opportunity offender approach, meaning everyone gets roasted. Think of it like a historical court jester. He pokes fun at the king and the commoner alike.
I remember, this was 15 years ago. I made a mistake. I didn't even know I had done anything wrong. I had written a sketch that had the word in it. So I had to go to Standards and Practices. They called me up. I don't know why they're calling me, but I like the lady that runs the department. She's usually really fair and was one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. So she sits me down. We have a nice conversation. She tells me, oh, the sketches are great. I go, oh, fantastic. Well, then why am I here? She said, because David, there's no way that you can ever say the word on our network. I didn't know I did anything wrong.
By roasting everyone, he sidesteps the us versus them mentality that woke culture often perpetuates, showing audiences that humor can exist without picking a side. Chappelle's comedy is a reminder that sometimes, taking a joke at face value is healthier than dissecting it to death.
I didn't know I did anything wrong. I didn't try to defend myself. I said, all right, take it out. Have a good afternoon. And as I was leaving, it occurred to me, hey, Renee, quick question. It's just a question. Seriously, I want to know, like, why is it that I can say the word with impunity, but I can't say the word?
In today's climate, comedians face the looming threat of cancel culture. But Chappelle? He treats it like an afterthought, something to be laughed at rather than feared. In his shows, he's pointed out the irony of a culture that demands tolerance, yet wants to cancel anyone who challenges the status quo.
North Carolina passed a law once that said a person in North Carolina must use the restroom that corresponds with the gender they were assigned on their birth certificate. No. No, that's not a good law. That's a mean law. No American should have to present a birth certificate to take a at Walmart in Greensboro, North Carolina with a baby. It's a transphobic comedian, Dave Chappelle. And let's say that I'm in Walmart doing a little shopping with my family. And then I gotta go to the restroom. So I excuse myself from my family. I go to the men's room. Now I'm standing at the urinal taking a leak. And this is what this law is gonna do. And suddenly, a woman walks into the men's room. I'm like, that's strange. And then she stands shoulder to shoulder with me at the urinal. I'm like, what's going on with you?
Chappelle's comedy finds its power in exposing hypocrisy. He uses humor to reveal contradictions within woke culture, where people preach tolerance but practice exclusion, or demand safety while weaponizing outrage. It's like watching a modern-day philosopher dissect the latest trends, questioning the logic behind each one. His jokes aren't just to entertain, they're there to make people think.
Stay safe from the woke virus and stand your ground. If you want to see more beatdowns of a failed ideology, check out this next video. Please subscribe so we can promote free speech and restore normal order to our planet. Cue the outro song.
We are the anti-woke police, here to save the world.